Hey, welcome to Planet Hex. I'm Andrew Horn. It's late at night. It's time to go and look at some tapes. I haven't looked at Accidental Horror VHS since the last time I streamed on here. So I need to know what's going on. If you're not familiar with me, I'm the author of a book called VHS a revised edition of which has just come out recently, and you can get that at the links below, and I put the VOD of this up on YouTube. You can also find it on Amazon and places like that. And it's a love letter to the VHS era. I've done a revised version which updates all the text and everything and adds a load of images and whatnot. And yeah, it's been a few videos since I've done a proper old school ex-rental horror video search on eBay. So let's just go and hang out for a bit and see what we can find. I've just set the search just to ex-rental horror VHS. Actually, I'm going to put the location to UK like I usually do. And let's see what we can find. I'm just curious to see what's out there and what prices are at the moment. It's always good to keep a check on the prices and see how things are selling or not selling, and see what people are asking for things that I may need to pick up at some point. So I need to revisit my collection. I did sell a lot of my collection off after I put out the original version of vhsatemybrain, and I'm always curious to see what else is going on. Ooh, Runestone and Blood Rage. I'm going to open these up in other tabs and have a look at those in a moment. Brain Fix, that's a Vipco one, isn't it? I've read a fantastic book on Vipco, the Video Nasty Mayhem, the Vipco story. I hugely recommend that if you are into your VHS and your weird cult film history. It's a very good read. Basket Case 2 and 3. Oh, Dream Demon. I missed my copy of Dream Demon. If you've never seen Dream Demon, it had Timothy Spall in it and Jimmy Nail. Now, you need to, if you don't know who they are, they were in on TV loads here in the UK throughout the 80s and 90s. And Dream Demon is like a 1988 weird supernatural horror movie. A little bit of a Nightmare on Elm Street feel to it, but also it's got this kind of strange gothic horror atmosphere to it, which is just really, really beautiful. So it's an oddly beautiful film, even though, there's Timothy Spall being gloriously awful. That's looking in good condition. What box is that on it? Can't tell what the box is. Looks like the original box. I should say Palace Premiere, I don't know if it is. So it's the Palace Horror. It's from the Palace Horror set, which also had things like, what else was in it? Trick or Treat, Evil Dead 2, Edge of Sanity, Vampire After Midnight, Creepers, otherwise known as Phenomena, and a bunch of others. There was loads in that range. Hills Have Eyes was in there as well. But yeah, if you ever get a chance to see Dream Demon, I do recommend it. It's a very different sort of horror movie. Very different to what a lot of the other stuff that was out there at the time. It's quite unsettling. It has a very unsettling atmosphere to it. Basket Case. Not to Lend. I love that. Not to Lend. So that one was clearly not meant to leave the house of the person that owned it. But that's understandable. I mean, how could you ever want that to leave your house? See what nick the tape is in. That's in good condition. Let's go and have a look at the seller's other items there. Oh, Star Crystal. There's something I don't see often. I see Scarecrows quite a bit. Toxic Avenger Part 2. There's an ex-rental Toxic Avenger there with toxic slime on the cover or something. What's going on there? Let's have a look at that. It's Contamination. £18 for Contamination is a decent price. £10 for that edition of Inseminoid. That's a bit much. I would be more like £5 or £6 for that, because that's the Vipco one, so it will be cut. It will be incomplete, that version. Stage Fright. That's a great movie. Another one that says Not to Lend, Return of the Living Dead Part 2. I've got that upstairs. £15, decent price for it. I love that movie, even though it's not the best of the series. Oh my god, there's a copy of Blood Camp Thatcher. That's from, again, it's a Vipco one, so it's missing bits of footage, but that was also known as Turkey Shoot. And what a weird, nihilistic, nasty piece of work that film is. Fun to watch, but really grim in atmosphere. Kind of very foreboding. Yeah, it's only 89 minutes, so I do believe that is slightly cut. But it's worth a watch. If you've never seen Bloodcamp Thatcher, look it up. You can also find it under the name Turkey Shoot as well. So this... Someone's cut Toxie out of the cover on this one. This is epic. And then written in silver Sharpie, The Toxic Avenger. I wonder if the video store did that, if like another owner did it or something like that. Let's have a look. So it's the movie. It's not the animated. It's not the Toxic Crusaders animated series. It's the first movie from Troma. I don't remember this edition. Who's put this out? Distributed by Palace Virgin Gold Distribution. I'm not sure who's put that out. Doesn't look like the one I'm familiar with. But I love it that the logo on this makes it look like a really cheerful kids comedy. Well, it is cheerful. It is a comedy. I wouldn't show it to kids though. Definitely show your kids Toxic Crusaders, or the animated series. That ruled. What else have I got open here? So there's this copy of Star Crystal, which I don't see around a lot at all. So yeah, that's £12 on Byte now. That's not too bad, even though it's in a bit of a state. There's some damage to the cover there. Some wear. I don't see this around often. So this is a nice, could be a nice addition to your collection. It's not one that comes up a lot. It's got the 18 certificate there that doesn't have the BBFC writing in it, so that's before like 1984, I believe, 85 when that all came in. It's a Brave World release. Yeah, that's a nice one. That's a nice one. That's an interesting one. It's always nice to see things that don't come up often, and it looks like this seller's got quite a lot of things that don't come up often. I love what they've done with these covers. Part 2 now out. Shrunken Heads for a £5. That's not bad. Hardcover 15. Impulse for a £5. I had that. The Apex version of Impulse. I had that. Got that from a market once, and it was like, oh, that's cool. Okay, so on this one here, we've got Elm Street, The Making of a Nightmare. This is the a making of video of the first Elm Street movie. I think it was just the first one. It's making of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. It's been a long time since I've seen it. I had this, and again, it's one I regret getting rid of, because the making of footage on it that was available on this tape was fantastic. It was a really cool making of video. Well worth a watch if you've not seen this. If you're a fan of the Elm Street movies and prime era Freddy Krueger, do check it out. It's well worth a look. Why did I sell all my tapes off? Because I was poor and needed the money. So that is the genuine reason. Oh, that looks interesting. 1998 trailer in-store tape. VHS video dealer time-coded promo. I wonder what's on that. I hope there's a list of what's on it. That was a long-looking tape as well. One Home Video first quarter in-store loop trailer tape, 1998. That looks like it may be an NTSC tape. I wonder if it shows you if they've got it listed what's on there. It's stored for a very long time, not rented out. Doesn't say what's on it. That is a shame. I would be very curious to see to find out what's on that tape. I'm going to watch that. That sounds fun. What else have we got here? That's that one. Does always remember, always check what else the seller is selling. So $10.50 for the Bogeyman, banned since 1982. So this is another Vipco release. Vipco releases were never. I was always a bit dubious whether they were actually uncut or not. But what you've got here, the Bogeyman, banned since 1982, is a nasty. This was one of the video nasties that's on the list. The Bogeyman is the chilling story of concentrated evil and its gruesome effect on a small American farming community. The evil is so great that even exorcism cannot stop the bloodbath. But what this was a horror movie about like bits of a haunted mirror killing people. It has a really cool atmosphere. Despite the stupid title, it has a really cool atmosphere. At least go and check out the trailer for it. That's a really quality trailer. Avoid Bogeyman 2 because it's like about 40 minutes of the first movie in flashback with some bits added on to make it feature length. Yeah, not one of the best things you could spend your time watching. £12 for Shock 'Em Dead, the heavy metal horror movie with Michelangelo Battio in it as Satan, the guitar player, as Satan, and it's also got Tracy Lords in it. See, I love this movie. I really, really love this film. It's really kitsch. It's really cheesy. It's got all the rock and the Tracy Lords that you could want. Oh, but that tape is mouldy. That doesn't look good. Yeah, what I was going to say was that I never thought he had a very good cover. Cover in the States was great for it, but the cover over here is kind of meh and didn't really sell it to a lot of people. Devonsville Terror, I had that on VTC in the nice gold and yellow packaging. I bought it for 50p. There we go. We've got an X-Rental big box of Warlock the Armageddon. Rest in peace, Julian Sands. What a talent. That was so sad to hear about what happened to Julian. I actually preferred this one to the original. I know the original had Richard E. Grant in it and is definitely a cult favourite of a lot of people, but I personally prefer the sequel because it was more schlocky. It had more of a horror feel to it rather than the sort of 80s dark fantasy feel of things like Highlander and so on. There's a copy of Endgame. That's not bad. More Vipco. With Fulci's City of the Living Dead. I love City of the Living Dead. But I would avoid the Vipco version, even if you're into tapes. I would go for the Arrow video DVD box set of that because that is just glorious. Oh, there's some Turkey Shoot that I mentioned earlier. So that was Blood Camp Thatcher under its alternate title, which I did see on a Vipco like a Screen Time collection or something DVD for the first time. There's mold on that as well. That's not good. Always check your tapes. If you're looking at tapes on eBay, always check them for mold. Because you do risk messing up your player, and players are getting hard to come by. So Endgame was a great post-apocalyptic sci-fi movie. One of those that came in the wake of Mad Max and such like, and it's fun. It's fun. I love the whole aesthetic where a lot of movie makers could save a lot of money by setting something in a post-apocalyptic wasteland, because then you just need a wasteland and just some like scruffy clothes, and that could be the future. And you're probably not too far from the truth, to be honest. We are heading that way, so at least we're going to end up with cool hair. Well, I won't, because there's nothing left there. Oh, I want to have a look at this X-Rental Big Box VHS horror of Possessed. This is still in this same seller. This is really good. The reason I want to check on this Possessed is I want to see if it's the same tape that I've got upstairs with no case. So I'm just trying to price up. Yeah, that's the same tape. It's the Entertainment and Video edition. So I may sell that. I'm not a huge fan of the movie. It's fine. It's watchable. Not one I don't think one I would keep. Right, let's go back to our regular search. That's basket case 2 from the person that says not to lend. They must have had a problem like lending videos out with someone. This is from the same seller, but yeah, this is definitely a a Vipco one, I recognise the half-assed attempt at packaging. A super brain scanning, brain draining, brain smashing membrane of a movie. That didn't make sense. Still a lot of love for Vipco. I did wear a Vipco hoodie for about 10 years. I love that thing. That was great. Okay, so we've got this runestone here. This looks in really good nick. Let's have a look at the condition of... let's have a look at the other items being sold by this seller. Lootbox Retro and Vintage Emporium. This looks cool. Got some figures and things there. Let's see if I can switch it to tapes. Let's go to VHS films. Okay, let's see what we've got there. Karaoke. Die Hard Trilogy, limited edition box set. Some Disney. Merlin and the Sword, that could be a good watch. And the rest of it's just not really leaping out at me. Oh, this copy of Prison, great movie. So as ever, there seems to be something of a mixed bag going on here with what is available and the prices. Let's switch this to lowest price. So it did look very low. Yeah, there's a bunch here that I don't see often, and I like that. That's cool. What was Cat and Nine Tails, the early Dario Argento movie? Let's see what nick that tape is in. It looks like the tape should be okay on that one. It's Night of the Demon again, another Vipco. This 6 Nuclear 6 person seems to have got a lot of Vipco, and that's awesome. Oh, Deep Space. Let's have a look at that one, and let's have a look at one more. What else have we got here? Let's find something awesome. Got that Nightbreed, Two Evil Eyes, another Deep Space. Don't see a lot of that around Deep Space. So that's nice to see that coming up again. A Vineyard, used to see that all over the place. Well, okay, this seller does have a lot of very unexpected tapes, and that's very cool. So we've got Rare Hellraiser Inferno there. I remember that. I remember being... it's one of the last things I rented from Blockbuster. That's the fifth. Yeah, it's the fifth Hellraiser movie. And I went to get it on DVD, and they didn't have it on DVD. And I had to sell for VHS. You know, of course, I would. But I do remember that very clearly. And I remember taking that to the counter in my... local Blockbuster where I was living at the time in Woodseats in Sheffield, and I remember that was the tape where I got ID'd. Bear in mind I had a goatee at the time and the bald head, and the guy was like, "You got any ID on you?" And he wasn't really looking; he was looking at the counter. I went, "I do if you look up," and showed him that, and he said, and rented me the tape, and I liked it. It was all right. As far as low budget sequels stuff go. Okay, let's have a look at this copy of the Imp and this one of Metamorphosis from VHS Retro Collectors, and that sounds like a promising one. So I always love the Imp. Sorority Babes in Slimeball Bowl-O-Rama. Great fun. Linnea Quigley. So if you've read VHS Hit My Brain, you know my fascination with Linnea. That's a great looking tape. I love that. Let's see what Tommy's Tapes has got to offer. Not bad prices. Not bad prices. 20 for Vamp. I love that edition of Vamp. I have that upstairs. How to Make a Monster. Humongous. Yeah, these aren't bad prices. So I think it is a pretty good time to check out some of the slightly more heavy hitters in terms of weird rare VHS. As ever, the price is fluctuating all the time, and the availability is fluctuating. Oh, look at the state of that. That's this. I love this. I love this really tacky artwork, and the sticker is hanging off. Yeah, dude, I bet you've got some great stuff on there. Let's go and check out. Oh, Blade in the Dark, yep. Wizards. Flesh Feast. Wow, look at that tape. On V2000. I've never seen a Flesh Feast on V2000. Check out that. That's so cool. It's just like an oversized cassette. I love it. Like a music cassette. Death by Invitation. So remember, as ever, always look at... Oh, the Alien Dead. Cool. Always look at what else a seller is offering, because that's where, in many cases, you will find the gold, the craziest stuff. So it's nice to know these things are out there. I'm really pleased that we had a look around tonight. I'm feeling inspired. I've got a few more to add to my my shopping list to rebuild my collection. The aim is to get just X rentals and replace everything with X rentals as we go on. So lots of food for thought there, and looking forward to getting back into the game with that. So that's another little episode of Planet Hex for you. I'm Andrew Horn. Please do like and subscribe if you like this sort of thing. This has been broadcast live on Twitch, so if you're ever on Twitch, hello, thank you for joining me. And if you're watching this on YouTube, please do like and subscribe. If you'll check out links down below the video, you'll be able to go and find the revised edition of VHSatemybrain, and I look forward to being getting back in the saddle with you soon. Of course, I'm always looking on eBay or Facebook Marketplace, because there just aren't things out there in the wild anymore. Not in any of the locations I go to around the Midlands and the North. They're just not there. So I'm going to keep finding things on eBay, keep looking on Facebook Marketplace. You never know, we may find some things out there in the wild once again very soon. So look out for the next episode very soon, and thank you for joining me for this episode of Planet Hex.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and validate my existence.